Top of the morning to you and welcome to Nigeria Now, your digital first Pan-African news network, QS Television, the program which brings you major stories across various national dailies here in Nigeria. My name is Sagir Ibrahim, and with me in the studio as always is our in-studio analyst, Mr. Felix Adetowo. He also doubles as a public affairs analyst. Good morning, Mr. Felix.
Good morning, Sagir.
Yes, so quite a tragedy yesterday. Let's start with the Daily Independent newspaper, saying about 3 died, several trapped in collapsed 21-story Lagos building. So we know that as at this moment the number has increased, both the number of casualties and the number of those who have been rescued. But the question I want to ask is, we can see a picture of the building, or at least what remains of the building, as well as other surrounding buildings, as the picture of the day there on the Daily Independent newspaper. So with a building of this kind of beauty, one would expect that at least it would adhere to the building code of the Lagos state government, as well as, the federal government. So it's been a continuum for Lagos state, because this is not the first time we've seen, building collapses. So what has been going wrong, owing to the fact that it happened in 2020, I think it happened sometime in either 2019 or 2018 as well. So why do we keep seeing a repeat of building collapses, despite the fact that the government has been saying they've been putting effort to ensure that buildings at least pass their structural integrity test, as well as adhere to the building code of the state?
It's quite sad to have seen what happened yesterday in Lagos. But what happened to the particular building, the third, there are 3 buildings. The particular one is a gross abuse of a code of engineering ethics. Going by, the letter circulating yesterday by the structural engineer monitoring the process, and that was in February, talking about how they are unable to really give a kind of quality materials for that particular building, especially from the 4th floor, I think from the 5th floor upward. And another thing we need to also think about is this: who are the regulatory bodies? And to be sincere with you, Lagos State has the best quality control and testing laboratory in Nigeria. If we are to look at location where that building is. And I feel that every stage of the building should be monitored and it should be tested. The quality should be tested. Yeah. But they were given approval for 15 story building, but another 6 was added, making 21. So who are those that are supposed to take care of this? Who are supposed to monitor this kind of thing? So I think going by what we see here, the Lagos Building Control Agency, I think they have a lot of questions to answer, because such a building cannot be going on. Is it that some people are, more powerful than the law?
Conveniently taking the law into their hands.
They just take the laws into their hands. You are given approval for 15 stories.
And you added an extra 6.
You added extra 6. Where were the controlling agencies while this guy was adding?
What was going on?
So we can't just be putting people's lives at risk all because we want to make money.
Okay, and we see on the Daily Trust newspaper as well, many killed as 21-story building collapses in Lagos, 4 bodies recovered, owner, project manager, others trapped. Quite unfortunate. Structural engineers resigned before collapse. That's quite interesting as well. Investigations ongoing. Lagos government says we must get to the root of the matter. That's by the ex-Nigerian Society of Engineering chairman. Okay, so we move forward to the Daily Times newspaper. We see from the very top, ongoing exercise not aimed at military occupation of Southeast Army. CDS calls for increased collaboration in armed forces. For the banner headline there, we see Buhari to youth, see yourselves as Nigeria's greatest asset, says young people remain center of policy making in federal government's investment development agenda. So this is quite interesting, coming from a president who once said sometime in 2020 or 2019, I can't remember the dates particularly, that Nigerian youths are lazy. That was a categorical statement. And here he is saying that the youth are the country's greatest asset. So one would begin to wonder how the laziest of them all will become the greatest of assets. in this
Thank God the
situation.
president and the presidency in general is having a rethink about who a Nigerian youth should be, because his own first stint in leadership, he was a young man, you know. Now he's now old. So, but the main thing is this: I quite agree with him. Any country that refuses to acknowledge the youth is not building anything. The youth of today are the leaders of tomorrow. They will surely take over. You were happy yesterday when PDP youth leader emerged, you know, that young guy at the age of 25, you know. So I think every country, but the problem, every country should build its future, you know, through the youth. And but the problem is this: how much are we doing for the youth to get better? Do those youth, do they have enabling environment to carry out their prowess, to carry out what they have? Do we have the right structures? And I think this is where the federal government really need to put their energy to see as much as possible. If we have over 100 million youth in Nigeria, how many of them are gainfully employed? Over 13%.
That's a big question.
Yes, over 13% of Nigerian youth, according to Bureau of Statistics, I think as at last month or this month, said they are jobless. Most of the insecurities we are seeing around is due to joblessness. Today, some guys are arrested for Yahoo, and the rest is because of joblessness.
Talking about Yahoo, on the Daily Times newspaper, we see at the bottom left corner, EFCC arrests Obi Cubana for money laundering, tax fraud. Now, this story is also replicated on the Daily Trust newspaper as well. EFCC arrests Obi Cubana over money laundering. Now, this was an individual who sometime earlier this year was at his hometown to celebrate the burial of his mom, and we saw the lavish show of affluence. Of affluence. And here he is, you know, being doxxed by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission. So what do you have to say in this regard? Because it's beginning to become more and more interesting when Nigerians will see people who, especially youth, who they would normally look up to, and then in a couple of months' time, the EFCC is saying, hey, he's a fraudster. So if you're looking to become like him, it means you're an intending or impending criminal. So we'll be coming for you. You know, we saw the same issue with Hush Puppy. We saw the same with from top of my head,
Investus Obi.
Exactly.
Investus Obi.
Monfa as well, and now Obi Cubana. So why are we seeing this trend so far? Or is it a witch hunting by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission against young Nigerians who are genuinely making a living and being successful in the current economic climate?
Well, I wouldn't say it's a kind of witch hunt, you know, being carried out by the EFCC. We still assume they are doing their job, you know. If you remember very well, the issue of Hush Puppy, as an example, nobody really put eyes into his activities until he started showing too much of his affluence. That the FBI had to start looking into this guy. Who is this? The operation was just within 3 or 4 months, and they were able to get whatever they wanted to get, and he was arrested after so many years he's been showing himself. So probably the burial, the burial ceremony at Oba was, you know, probably the EFCC too had been monitoring. Okay, is this guy only dealing in hoteling and the rest alone? Let's watch him more. And if you see some of the things we heard that they brought out against him, one, that is the issue of tax evasion, tax fraud. So let's see at the end of the day what happens. Probably he's not been paying his tax. Nobody knows. So we'll still wait to see what happens at the end of the day.
Let's see how that unfolds. Well, that was on the lighter notes. Let's go to the Blueprint newspaper. Now we see from the very top there, $1.9 billion assets. Firm works out on lawmakers over Delta Steel, Alaja. We see as the banner headline. Before then, Odili IGP orders probe Senate to debate invasion. Prowess Engineering on Ikoyi 21-story building collapsed. We withdrew because our clients insisted going beyond 4th floor. 4 dead, 4 others rescued. Owner, 50 others trapped, says eyewitness. Underneath the picture of the day there, we could see the collapsed building in Ikoyi. Senate tackles FG over envelope budgeting at Jakarta complex. Envelopes budgeting stupid, says minister. Zamfara reopens markets, bandits kill 5, abducts many in Kaduna. Nigerian youth are most valuable assets, and that's by the president. PGF boss to IU, probe use of 30 billion naira PDP Secretariat fund, and finally 7.3 billion naira public works funds yet to be disbursed by the federal government. You could get a read of this story as well as other stories across the various headlines and newspapers that were reviewed here on Nigeria Now by simply grabbing a copy and keeping updated. However, also you could be a part of Nigeria Now by connecting with us on our various social media platforms on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at TOS TV Network. You could also watch Nigeria Now via our website at www.tostvnetwork.com, as well as watch a recap via our YouTube page and other programs by TOS TV Network at TOS TV Network. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And that's a wrap for the show this morning. Remember, Nigeria Now comes to you weekdays, Monday to Friday on your digital first Pan African News Network. My name is Sagir Ibrahim, and I'll be seeing you tomorrow.